আরে এখন সকালে বক্তব্য শুরু করবো এখানে। মাটির রাস্তা একটু কিছু আসছে কি কি হয় বলুন কোন বাড়ি যাচ্ছে Let's wait for 5 more minutes. All right. I guess we were about to join. We joined. So yeah. All right. Hello everyone. Thank you for joining once again. So today we have Aditi who will talk about content strategy, and Aditi is from Jharkhand. She's 23 years old, and she started her journey back in 2020 with writing, but last year in March she started with content writing. Can you please, yeah, and she started managing Twitter with just 5,000 rupees a month. Right now, she is making money, enjoying her life, and giving value to her clients. So today we will learn how to build a content strategy so you can effectively build your personal brand on any platform, as well as you can grow your business on online. So I will just pass the baton to Aditi, and she will start. Thank you.
Thank you, Anirban. I'm sorry, having. Yep, I'm sorry for the glitch. I hope you guys can hear me. Okay, cool. So, Anirban has already given my background sob story that I started long back. I'll directly jump into the. I'll directly jump with the content strategy part, sharing my screen. Okay, so just to give you a little context, I am specialized with LinkedIn and Twitter. Those are the services that I give to my clients as well. So I'll try my best to cover both those areas today in our 1 hour session. So starting with the strategy, whenever you start to do working on a strategy, there are a few things that you need to keep in mind before trying to do a strategy for yourself or for your client. And one of those things is audience demographics. And when you learn about where your audience comes from, all kinds of specifications around them, what they do, where do they live, their age group, their income, their pain points. So when we say pain points, that is exactly what we mean, what they come from, and whatever they might face in creating a strategy for growing followers and getting leads. Because ultimately, the strategy has only two purposes: we do it for followers and for ideal prospects. There are three pillars which I know a lot of you would already know about because it is so talked about on LinkedIn because of Vedika and Unnati. And of course, there are hundreds of blogs around it: top of the funnel, bottom, and the middle. But I will just go through the basics once so that I'll do my part. And if there's anyone who doesn't know about these three pillars, they'll come to know about it. Top of the funnel is for a broader audience. So whenever you're trying to attract ideal prospects or followers that will help you or who might want to connect with you, you want to talk about anything on any literally any broad topic that they will find a need to. So often top of the funnel topics includes trending topics, whatever is. I can't see my screen, so let me know. Anirban, you can let me know if there are any questions or something happening. Top of the funnel. Okay, so I was saying the trending topics around international and national or local, whatever, whoever you are targeting. Also, with that comes personal stories and in general, basic, very generic topics like motivation, business, entrepreneurship. You all, I can see similar faces. So I know a lot of you already might know about this, but again, let's start with the basics first. Then is the middle of the funnel where you build trust and you build your engagement. So a lot of your personal client stories and experiences and how you do certain things. Like right now, when I'm sharing my screen, teaching you content strategy, this would be a part of middle of the funnel because it's not for everyone. And right now I'm just educating you around what I do and how I do it. This is a personal presentation. It does not fall apart of the bottom of the funnel. Why? Because I'm not trying to convert any of you. It is all insightful and educational. I hope you get the point. And when you try to sell someone, either as services, digital products, or you try to grow your engagement and followers, literally by sending bottom of the funnel content, anything can be video testimonials, text testimonials, your client talking about you, or I think bottom of the funnel is literally around those things. In anything literally which can help you convert your audience. So right now this presentation is our middle of the funnel content. I hope this part is clear. So I'm moving to the next one. How do you research for the top of the funnel? Strategies for it. First is, okay, if you see the number one, you do the audience reach. So that because you are trying to gather more reach and visibility via your LinkedIn and Twitter profile. Now, I forgot to share this before, but I will do this now. Whatever strategies you create for LinkedIn and Twitter, and this goes somewhat similar for Instagram as well, you are trying to create awareness, new audiences, more reach, more visibility via your profiles on these three platforms. Or even if you just take LinkedIn and Twitter. When we talk about examples, insights and trends is just ignore this part. Not exactly insights and trends because that more falls a part of the MOFU content, but it's okay. Then we'll talk about number 4, conversation starters. So anything that you can connect with your, anything that makes your audience connect with you, which is mostly broader content because that's when you attract the mass audience. That falls part of the content starters. So questions that spark conversations and encourage engagement. You can use some tools for that, and I've mentioned two here, ChatGPT and BuzzSumo. BuzzSumo helps you identify trending topics in your niche, and ChatGPT literally helps you with everything. So for that, you can just check out Growth School's course for 299. And yeah, for the middle of the funnel, here we talk about insights and trends that you might have. Storytelling posts, why I've put it in the middle of the funnel post and not in the top of the funnel post, because not, especially when you're a small account and no one literally knows you, because I don't think anyone here is an influencer. When you're starting out, no one actually wants to hear your story unless you give them a reason to. So when you attract the engagement, visibility, reach via your profiles from the top of the funnel content, in the middle of the funnel content, you try to include personal stories and experiences, professional stories and experiences, because that is when your audience has come from a cold to a warm, has come down the funnel from cold to warm. So they might be interested in reading about your stories and experiences, like how I helped save a client $15,000 in taxes. I've given an example here. How this also helps you generate leads and prospects, because this part of the funnel is for building trust and engagement. And when you tell them things like step by step guide or how I did XYZ, you are showing your expertise in this part. Video content is also working on LinkedIn these days, and I've seen a lot of videos work absolutely very great on Twitter as well. So you can try video content if you're good with it. But even if you're not good with it, just try it anyways, I believe, because video content is the future. You can't escape with it much. And not just will it help you with engagement and followers, those are secondary things. The first is it gives you confidence and the benefit of being strong in front of an audience, in front of a camera. We drifted apart from the content strategy bit, but I'm sorry, this is that was the point. I'll move to the next one. Bottom of the funnel content. Here you use direct call to actions. For example, when I write, see how this client tripled engagement with our help, curious, DM me. This helps not only attract more engagement, but also people will DM you if they're interested, if they want whatever you're offering with your post. And this thing, the direct call to actions thing work in the bottom of the funnel directly, because in the previous post, in the middle of the funnel post, we talked about how we helped a certain client. So that has helped you build trust and engagement. As I said before, bottom of the funnel talks about success stories and testimonials. They show how you have give value to your previous or current clients, and this will pave the way for your future prospects to DM you or to book a call via your profile link. You focus on better CTAs and okay. So I have given tools in each slide for all the three funnel parts so that you can use it. So copy.ai is good for CTAs. I've personally tried it. It doesn't work at all times, but sometimes it does work well. So with AI, you just have to try out a lot of things before seeing which one works the best for you. And then, of course, even if you don't use Hootsuite, A/B testing is the key when it comes to bottom of the funnel content, because not every CTA works for everyone. I've seen this while working on my own profile and for my client's profile. There are some profiles where if you give direct engagement like DMA, that works. But when I say that, I mean crisp and straightforward CTS. But there are some profiles where those things doesn't work. You have to use a different way, because when we talk on a direct straightforward way, it doesn't work for that particular niche industry profile. But the thing is, it doesn't work for everyone. I've explained the three funnels. If you might have any questions, you can ask me in the end. I'll try my best to answer, and I'm really sorry if this is not yet up to the mark, but we are just starting, so there is a lot more to come. Now the main part, the research for content strategy, which a lot of people in the industry do not talk about. And that is, a lot of people use the word content research, but they don't tell you how to do it. It's either like use Reddit, use Quora, ask people, set up polls and all of those things, but they don't practically show you. Like, if we all are, including me, we all are smaller accounts, and if you're coming from a small place, you don't have a huge social following, you even if you ask on Reddit and Quora, I doubt you'll get that much of good quality answers. If you run a poll on your Instagram, unless you have a huge following, you wouldn't get great answers as well. So the practical tip when it comes to doing content strategy for your profile or for your client's profile, what I personally do is I use AI for audiences insights. Now, tools like Tweet Hunter and Shield, they help you understand the best posts of each profile for the particular platforms. And there is a um, Google Chrome extension for Reels as well. I don't remember the name right now. I'll share in the end if you guys want to know about it. But anyways, you have to use the AI for researching the best content, the best posts that your competitors or at least the top people in your profile are doing. It does not have to be in the same location. Like a lot of us here would be following Alex, Jasmine, um, Luke Matthews, and all of those people. So how, and even like Justin Welch. But do you like scroll literally to endless time that they have been posting for? Justin, I don't know how. how long he has been posting, but it's totally impractical to check out each one of his posts. Unless you have an AI tool, I don't think it's possible manually. So you can use such tools. ChatGPT is an absolute favorite of mine because, first of all, it's free and I can ask it as many questions as I want. In fact, I created this presentation with the help of ChatGPT because you can't expect me to write all of those things and help me design it. And just a little promotion, which I wasn't paid for. This presentation was powered by presentations.ai. I created this whole presentation with the help of AI. So we all know how useful GPT is, how AI is useful. So just leverage it. And ChatGPT will only help you when you ask tailored questions to it, and you literally keep asking questions to it as long as you're not satisfied with the answers. But the thing is, the more personalized and the more specific you are with the questions, the more specific answers you get. Now there's sentiment analysis with Crimson Hexagon, where you can do sentiment analysis on trending topics to adapt your content strategy. This is an amazing tool. You can check it out and follow industry voices. Now, there there's a practical tip that I want to share with you. This was not shared to me initially when I started working in personal branding because no one told me exactly. But apart from, like, if you're in content or copywriting, personal branding, you know whom to follow, like Luke, Justin, Jasmine, and all of those people. But when you write for clients, when you do strategy for your clients as a ghostwriter or as a social media copywriter, you do not know the industry voices. So what you can do is just change, when either use your own profile or their own, or their profile. This works amazing on LinkedIn. You change the location to where they are. If that is their profile only, it is easy. You won't have to change the location, and you just have to uh, research and find out top active industry voices in the location. For example, one of my clients is from UAE. So I did not initially know whom to engage with because he did not want to engage with everyone. So in that case, what I did was I used my own profile to set my location to UAE, and then I started liking and started finding top voices. Now, the ones with the yellow badges are not top voices. That badge is called the top community voice. That's of no use literally. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the blue top voice badge, the people, those who have it, and those who are actively posting. Because there are a lot of top voices who don't actively post. So you can just follow them to know the trending topics going about in that nation, that location, and it will help you a lot in doing the strategy for your client, because this helps especially in the top of the funnel content. Because if you are a strategist or a writer from India writing from someone in the UK, USA, UAE, you will not know what's trending there. And not all clients are that active that you literally ask them on the chat, hey, what's trending, what's going on in the location, and they will be free to answer you. Most of the clients don't, and they don't even have the time for that. So in that case, you can do the research by doing this yourself. So I hope this point was helpful to you. These are a few ways that you can do research when it comes to personal branding for LinkedIn and Twitter. And the same ways can be done for Twitter as well. On Twitter, there is no top voice option, but in that case, you just have to do your manual research at your best. Sit down for straight 1 to 2 hours and find out as many active profiles as you can in those. And you can also just directly search on Google. Google works as well. Moving to the next slide. When you do your content strategy for yourself or for your client, comes the content ideation part. You got the inspiration from the top profile, top voices, or literally anything that your client told you, or any links that your client gave you from blogs, from Google articles, whatever it is, from Medium articles. How do you convert that into your unique post, or for your unique post for your particular client? First of all, it's easy. You dissect it. You analyze the structure and the tone. How are they writing it? Now, one thing is for sure, when you write as a ghostwriter and as a copywriter, those are completely two different things, and there's one major difference. As a ghostwriter, structure and tone does not depend on what's working in the industry. Rather, it is dependent on your client, on how they want to show themselves as. more emojis, less emojis, longer sentences, shorter sentences. But as a copywriter, you have to analyze the structure and tone to see what's working in that particular area, niche, industry, whatever it is. You dissect it. You see what types of hooks are they writing, the body, the CTA, common things, common copywriting principles that I'm sure all of you know. You use tools like ChatGPT, Claude, OpenAI to adapt it. Now, how you can adapt your post to that of your competitors or top voices of that industry is just copy that whole post that you've written, paste it on ChatGPT, and then give below it, below that, give your points, insights that you want to use personally for your client profile or your own profile, and you just give a simple prompt to ChatGPT or Claude that adapt my use the above post, analyze the structure and tone, and then adapt my insights which are given below to the above structure and tone. And you can also give prompts like, which I personally use. These are all like practical things that I use in my daily day to day work. So I hope this will help you all a lot. Which is give alternative CTAs for this post, give alternative LinkedIn hooks for this post. Now, just don't write LinkedIn hooks. You can use adjectives like great, good, viral, because in that way, GPT does a little bit of research and helps you give. Also, you need to have a little bit of understanding when you ask them for different types of alternative hooks and CTAs, or for alternative types of hooks. For example, you give the prompt to ChatGPT, adapt it to my post, but then it gave you something which you're not liking. So then instead of trying to, you know, use the redo button, I'm not sure if that is what is called on GPT, but anyways, instead of doing that again, or do like long making the chat longer, you can just ask it to give 5 different alternatives, and you can give 5 different tones. For example, one tone can be motivational, inspiring, bold, and these are the adjectives that I personally use when it comes to hooks as well. Like, I literally tell GPT or Claude to give me 5 alternatives for this post, LinkedIn hooks. So one can be a bold statement, one can be a plain emotional statement, one can be a question, one can be a statistic. So you already have 4, and one can be something different. And of course, after you get the copy from copy AI, Claude, GPT, whatever AI you are using, you adapt your insights, you change the titles. Like, of course, at times, no matter how much prompts you give to the AI tool, it's a robot, it's stupid, so it will not give you the prompt. At sometimes I'm so frustrated, I just take whatever it gives and then I manually edit it. So you adapt the insights. So in this case, I've told you the entire part, right from content ideation to content writing. So this slide, I hope, is clear to you. When you create a content strategy, especially on a Google spreadsheet, what you have to do, you have to create a separate columns. Like, you can add the reference link or the ideation link, the content where you're taking it from, or maybe you're taking the structure, whatever. Suppose I have to create a post like Justin Welch's. So if I do post it on my content calendar or content strategy, whatever you may call it, I'll put the content ideation link there. Then I'll add my own insights in the column below beside that. So I know this is the post that I've adapted to because it is similar to my competitors. These are my personal insights, what I think about it. Asking the right questions for effective content. Now, when this is very, very important and an absolute amazing thing when you're working with a client as a ghostwriter, even if you are working for your own profile, and even if I'm sorry, even if dude, I'm sorry for this, even if uh, you don't know what questions you have to exactly ask your client or yourself, what you can do is, again, simply go to GPT and tell it the entire scenario what you're in. Like, I have to ghostwrite for a client, this is my ideation, competitors, all of this thing. I have to ask questions for effective content creation, for ghostwriting for my client. What questions should I ask? So you ideate, you like curate all of those best questions, and then you ask those clients. And whenever you ask questions to your client, sometimes I've also seen my clients do it, they give very generic answers. I don't know if they use GPT for it, but they do. So in that case, give them specific things, like ask them and yourself, if you're doing it for your personal profile, how can I present conventional advice in a new way? Frame this question for them. What unconventional advice do you have on this topic or this post? Or what, how can you, even if it's a very generic topic, like suppose motivation, you can't change a lot of things when it comes to positive things. It's basically the same, everyone will agree to positivity, but you have to put it in a new way, because that is how you chase virality, followers, and leads. If you are saying the same thing, you're not standing out from the industry. And I just believe that you cannot flip the script 360 degrees, but when you're doing something, try to be different at least 1%, because that becomes your USP. The questions, again, all of these questions, like what challenges is my audience facing that they can't openly discuss, ask GPT, ask your client directly if GPT is not able to give you the good questions. All of these questions can be asked on the onboarding call or the breakthrough call when you do with your client when you just onboard them. Research tools like GPT, I already told you, answer the public for popular queries in your niche. This is highly helpful when you're a blog writer, but works for personal branding as well. Quora and Edit is good for answers when you have a good following there, but if you don't, it's still helpful because it helps you get trending and very specific questions that your audience might have on the industry or regarding something, but you can't know about it. When you research the specific terms and phrases on Quora and Reddit, you get a lot out of these questions, and you can use these exact same questions in ghostwriting content for your clients or for yourself, whichever the case may be. Again, all of these are same for LinkedIn and Twitter. That is how you ask the right question. So when you ghostwrite for yourself, for your client, you don't ghostwrite for yourself, I'm sorry. When you write for yourself, or when you ghostwrite for your clients, writing the ask questions is the most important part, because that helps you curate the best information out of your clients, and like scourging information out from your clients. Does that make sense? Going to the next one, content calendar. Consistency is key. Same boring shit, we all know it's consistency is important. So yeah, just a little bit of thing that I wanted to do different here is, when you top of the funnel should be posted in the starting of the week, typically Mondays and Tuesdays, middle midweek obviously for deeper engagement, deeper audience engagement and interaction, and then Friday is ideal for bottom of the funnel for maximizing the conversions and lead gen. Scheduling, you can directly use LinkedIn and Twitter, but if you want to use external tools, Trello, Zapier is good. And for tracking content analytics and stuff, again, directly the apps itself are very good, but apps like Content Studio, Shield, Tweet Hunter give way more insights, deeper insights to be specific. So when you plan your content calendar, when you're doing the strategy for your client, make sure that you use the topics in this order only. Whatever trending topics, broader topics you have, put this on the starting of the week. Middle of the week should be about personal and professional stories and experiences. Already explained whatever middle of the funnel comes into. And bottom again, typically once a week, so Friday. Saying this, considering you post 5x or 6x a week, you can plan your calendar strategy accordingly for yourself or for your client. The next one is, I think I've already explained this part before. That slide was a different, but I just mixed it up altogether. So basically, this is how you personalize your content by dissecting the top posts of industry voices, top the ones with the blue badge, or your competitors, even if they don't have a blue badge. Like Vedika doesn't, but she's still an industry voice. So you just identify their structure, layout, tone, calls to action used in the successful post, and you use AI for that. If you don't have time for AI, I think you can very easily spend 4 to 5 hours manually researching content. I don't have any problem with that. And um, there's external noise. Can you guys mute? Okay, cool. And then you experiment it with rewriting using tools like GPT for intros, CTAs for better engagement, and that is how most of the viral posts are churned out. They don't, like, if you talk about most of the viral posts and people that go viral, they're not posting something different exactly. Very few have been posting unconventional thoughts and so on, or very personal true thoughts of their own. Mostly it's just rewriting stuff from, like as I said, industry voices and competitors. And then you get successful posts for yourself on your clients. Again, you have to make notes, you have to take care of the analytics to see what worked well, and then enhance your future content strategies accordingly. I'll share this presentation in the group at the end if Anirban allows and if you guys need it, otherwise it's okay. Moving to the next one, engaging hooks. I don't know why even talking about it. Everyone literally knows about this. Um, Hooks. Okay. Um, it's viral for capturing attention, curiosity driven statements is not exactly true, because there are, as I said, when I give prompts to my AI, because I'm not manually writing all of my client posts, that takes a lot of time and I don't have that much of time. Urgency in messaging, that is important, but not always. It depends on the purpose of the post as well. So all of this is considering what your purpose of the post is, what you want to get out of the post. So basically there are 5 types of hooks, which I already told you, but again I'll repeat it again. A question, a statistic, a plain emotional statement, things like last week this happened, and you leave it for curiosity and then you come back and write the body. So the statistic one, the plain emotional statement, the question, um, there's a bold statement, a bold piece of advice, a very unconventional statement that people will take offense on or will get triggered on. Maybe it's a negative or positive thing. And there's a curiosity driven hook where you directly talk about something else. I'm not remembering the fifth type of hook, I'm sorry, but I remember only these 4 for now. How you track the metrics, you already know this, but I'll just go through this again. You monitor the followers that you have, the engagement rates through likes, shares, and comments per post, and overall profile every week, every end of the week, and every end of the month. When you are working as a freelancer or as an agency, most of the times we use all of these metrics to put in a social media report and send to the clients so that they know whatever is happening, because most of the times you're not able to give virality or very good leads to your, or maybe no leads to your clients through your ghostwriting or personal branding. But in this case, when you have these metrics, you are able to curate all of this and send your clients so they know that you're working on it and there has been progress, even if it has been very little. Conversion rates. Okay, yeah. So there's a tool, Twitternomy, where you can use to evaluate and identify top performing content on Twitter, Shield for LinkedIn, and you literally do the follower conversion engagement rates for all of these things. And a personal insight that I would like to add on this matter is, on a general note, because I know a lot of you guys are starting in personal branding, so you don't generally know what kind of follower growth, or yeah, let's talk about the follower growth. What kind of follower growth clients you can usually give to your clients? Because there are people who directly say, I grew 1,000 followers in 1 week. And that does happen. Not saying it does not happen, it does happen. But that happens only when the post goes viral. But in general, if you're not able to give any viral posts, how much follower growth does do you still see? Because I've worked with a lot of agencies and with some quite good people in personal branding influencers, you could say. Personally, I worked at the people company where Shubhangi, Madan, and Vivan were the co-founders. So I worked there as a part-time strategist. For the past 6 months, I've been working at Sackberry as a part-time strategist, and right now I'm a full-time copywriter at Sorted, like Mahima Jalan's agency. So generally we expect 150 to 200 followers growth every week. That happens even if you get like 40 to 50 likes on a per post basis if you're just starting out on the profile. These things are good to know when someone just tells you what can you expect, because then you have a number in mind that you can chase. It's better if you have more numbers, if you're able to give more numbers, but the least are at least 150 to 200 followers per week. This is for LinkedIn. And for Twitter, you cannot give a number because Twitter is a completely different game. Depends on your virality. Twitter is mostly about virality. Anyways, I think we covered this part, so I'll move to the next one. So, summarizing the key strategies is you have to understand the three pillars which you already know about, and when you have to actually post about it. Tofu in the starting, Mofu in the middle of the week, and Bofu in the end of the week, all for a reason already explained. Tofu because it brings organic reach, visibility, engagement to the maximum. Mofu because it builds trust and engagement with the audience that you already have, the connections that you have. And Bofu because it converts those audience into prospects, leads for digital products and your services, whatever that may be. You use AI tools for research, analytics, ideation. This is a very important part because you cannot do literally anything manually here unless you have a lot of time and you're open to working 60 to 70 hours, as someone said. I forgot his name. But anyways, I also heard that Elon Musk expects his employees to work for 60, 70 hours per week. So unless you're open to that, you are free. You should use AI, according to me. And of course, consistent CTAs and posting. Now, when I say consistent posting, you already know why it's important. I'm sorry, lot of stuttering there. It affects your reach and basically brings everything down, whatever effort you might have put until there. But posting effective CTAs and consistent CTAs, why it's important, because I've seen a lot in a lot of profiles that posting the same CTA actually at the end of each post actually brings leads. Might look very bad, as Jasmine once pointed out in one of his posts, and I personally feel it is looks very offbeat as well. But consistent CTAs work for a lot of people. So here again, it's all about A/B testing. You have to check out what works for you or not. So with one first month, you can just put out same consistent CTAs with every post, and the next month just see without it, whichever brings you no followers and leads, whatever your purpose is. And if your purpose is both, obviously have a balance. And with that, we come to the end of the session. If you have any questions, you can put in the chat. I'll answer everyone, each question one by one in the detail. And if you have any, after this session, I will obviously expect you guys to experiment with AI tools and review your current strategy, because I believe there's no strategy that's perfect unless you guys are very rich here and you do not want to grow on social media. But anyways, that's the end. I'll start sharing.
Thank you, Aditi, for taking this session, first of all. And secondly, I am seeing Iman is raising her hand for so long. Iman, you can go ahead.
Hi Aditi, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Firstly, the session was amazing and I really loved all of your insights. So I have a question about the client's voice thing in the post. So as when the clients are starting, so they don't generally have their own voice and they just give their input, but they don't have their own voice. So how to figure out that voice thing when you are first starting with a client, which is new?
First, I would like to say that there's no thing as having no voice. Because the thing is, I'll tell you a truth. People have made social media voice a different thing, which is which does not make sense at all. When you are on social media, you're basically presenting yourself. You have a voice in your personal life. You know how you speak to people. You know how you speak to your clients or team members, and that same exact voice is your voice on social media, unless you want to fake yourself, like you are very rude in real life but you want to present yourself very polite on social media. In that case there can be clashes. But if you are true to yourself and your client is true to themselves, they will know their voice. There is no such thing as having no voice. So how can you identify them? when you go on with them on discovery calls and onboarding calls, you can just record the calls and you can um, s- just observe the way they say things, they use certain words and phrases while speaking, how they take long pauses or small pauses. Just these little details is what makes a voice. But again, when you're a ghostwriter, these things matter. But when you are writing as a copywriter, which I mentioned during the presentation, that is copying the tone of how your competitors or top industry because you see, right now on LinkedIn especially, there's a certain way posts are being written, especially
Yeah,
after people following Jasmine Alec. It's all about crisp to the point using certain bullets and pointers. People are rarely knowing what a voice is. They
yeah,
are following the same structure and tone. So unless you have to do that as a copywriter, you don't have to identify the tone for that. You already know it's crisp to the forward straight. You can see Jasmine Alex post for that. But
yeah,
in other words, if you're writing a ghostwriter and you're not chasing how people are typically writing, I've already given you a few examples. Record the entire call and just ask them questions, and maybe it's good if I can tell you directly, but again, you just have to record the call and see for yourself of whatever small details that you can take out from the call of how they speak, how they take pauses, how they repeat certain words and phrases, how they, if they get triggered easily when you ask them questions, if they are in a rush, or
yeah,
they take to reply your questions with in, like in detail, in time. So I hope this question was helpful.
yeah.
I'm sorry, this answer was helpful.
Yeah, yeah, got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Is there any other question from anyone? All right. So what I would say, like currently, what we are seeing from the top creators like Lara Costa, Luke, Pierre, this all stage, these people are talking about make three main theme of the content. First of all, is educating, um, and I mean this EA formula where they are talking about educating, entertaining, right? So how do you mix them with talk, morph, and boff?
It's easy. So whenever you're trying to entertain your audience or you're trying to inspire or motivate them, it will obviously come only in the top of the funnel content. Because initial of the week we are all dreading on Mondays and we try to see something different as readers or as an audience. Also, it is for top of the funnel content is for a broader generic topics like business entrepreneurship and all of those things. So when emotions of inspiring entertainment would mostly be relatable with broader easy topics, because when you come to the middle of the funnel content or bottom of the funnel content, you are mostly trying to focus on building engagement and trust with your audience so that you can convert them. Ultimately that is the goal for all of us. So since that is the goal, we cannot focus on being entertaining. That is what I personally feel.
As I mean on internet, whenever you read any content or whenever you publish any content, you basically try to do any of these three. Either you want to entertain, either you want to educate, or either you want to inspire. Like in the case of personal stories, you are mostly trying to inspire them with your stories and how you did it,
Yeah.
right? So this is how, like, everyone is talking about these three, and that is why there are so many people who are confused about how to inject this top mob off with this. I mean, how to mix them and to make your content strategy, because content strategy is not something which you make for once. It's something like recurring types, which you always iterate and change according to the KPIs you have set. You always, I mean, let's say if I'm talking about myself, then I generally check my content every Sunday. How is it going? What are the point I should consider to improve and all. So then I always consider the hook, the body copy, the CTA, where my audience are engaging more. So everything matters, and based on that, I change my content strategy, right? So well, it was a great session first of all, but we have so many people. If any one of you have any question, feel free to ask. I guess they don't have any question, but if you guys can open your camera so we can take a quick screenshot. Can you open your camera, everyone? Dipti, Iman, Ankita, Simran, Chaima, Khushi, Tashin, Ashma. We can take a quick screenshot and end the session here.
Thank you, Ravisha.
Khushi has a question.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I'm so sorry I was late for the session, but I just have one question. Like, I would just like or love to know, like, what is your content creation, process? So, for example, you're just batch creating content for the whole week, or you're just creating one day prior, or like, what's the process you guys are following? Like, if you can give me a brief.
Personally, I'm very inactive of my socials, so just forget about me. But if I had to talk about my clients, I try to batch create for them at least 1 week in advance. But I would suggest you, because I'm working on this for myself, to batch create for 2 weeks in advance. Unless it's a very trending topic, because then you can rearrange your content calendar accordingly. And as for what is my content creation process, I think I already explained that in the PPT, that after you do the research from the respective places, you if you're using AI, which I do a lot of times, you just give that post or the certain number of posts to AI, you give them the prompt, your certain insights, personal insights, and then GPT or Claude or Copy, whatever tool, your Perplexity, whatever you're using, does it for you. So that's the process in a gist.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Rajata. I tried my best to be helpful with you guys.
Anyone else? Saluja, Yakshi, anyone else?
I feel everyone's got bored of whatever he's speaking.
सब पटाखे फोड़ रहे कैमरा ऑफ करके और क्या
पटाखे फोड़ रहे हैं और क्या भाषण दे रही है यार. Honestly, like, was it insightful for you guys, or are you just like putting ऐसे ही कि हाँ लास्ट में बोल देते हैं थैंक यू थैंक यू.
Rajita joined for the very first time. Thanks for joining. Iman for the very first time. Ashma very first time. Thanks for joining and make the session fruitful. Oil लगा के क्या बोल oil लगा के बैठी
ठीक है. I was glad I added at least some information to your brains. Otherwise, you would not do anything productive on a Sunday. Useless people.
Wishing for more. Thank you for joining Aditi and thank you for joining everyone. We will have another session soon with Satish and Vidisha as well. So see you everyone. Thanks for joining.
Bye, everyone.